The TV1 News is proudly brought to you by
Hello and thanks for joining us for the news at 6.
In this edition, Governor calls for increased funding. Engau celebrates the silent doctors. And Fiji Bati camp remains confident.
With junior high schools now established in many schools around the country and grade 8 students being allowed to continue grade 9 without selection, many schools will now have to invest in infrastructure to cater for grades 9 and 10. And Education Secretary Dr. Uke Kombra says his department will ensure infrastructure needs like classrooms are met to ensure the smooth implementation of this policy.
In 2027. So by the time we complete that, then we'll move on to placing out the grade 10. So provinces that have the highest transition are the provinces, transition meaning the number of students going from grades 8 to 9 or 10 to 11. Those are the provinces that are ready, so we're working with them to phase out the selection system. So just for your information that we have announced this policy and this is being implemented this year for next year.
Flight training in the highlands of Central Province for pilots and aircrew of the Australian Defence Force is winding down as the visiting 5th Aviation Regiment turns its attention to supporting the Papua New Guinea Defence Force during Exercise One Top Warrior. Around 100 ADF personnel and 4 Chinook helicopters have conducted daily flights around the Owen Stanley Ranges as part of Exercise Helicon Loop 2025, an annual activity aimed at getting pilots and aircrew qualified to fly at altitude and in mountainous terrain. 5th Aviation Regiment pilot Captain Lloyd Struber said being qualified to fly at high-density altitude and in mountainous environments was necessary to prepare the unit to operate in all conditions and in all terrain. Many surgeries in hospitals are performed under general anesthesia to ensure that patients do not feel pain. It minimizes anxiety and discomfort and keeps the patient still as precision is required. This is where anesthesiologists come in. They are important for patient safety before, during and after procedures. Anesthesiologists at the Engau Memorial Provincial Hospital observed World Anesthesia Day today at the hospital chapel under the theme Anesthesiology in Health Emergencies.
The term silent doctor is often used to describe an anesthesiologist, pointing to how they work behind the scenes to make sure patients are safe and stable during medical procedures. World Anesthesia Day was observed today at the Engau Memorial Provincial Hospital in Lae, where, for the first time, anesthesiologists came out to mingle with the public and conduct awareness on their role in the health sector. Held at the Engau Chapel, the event was open to the public, with Anesthetic Scientific Officer Andrew Thomas explaining that they don't just administer anesthesia to put patients to sleep, they also continue to monitor and manage a patient's vital signs during the procedure. This is to make sure the procedure is pain-free to enable safe recovery for the patient.
Normally, we anesthetic team are always confined to operate theater. People see that we are always confined confined to operate theater, but today team tells me that we are not always confined to operate theater. Sometimes we can be needed outside. That means that we can be needed in the emergency department or even in the hospital. Anything to do with the airway problem, we are the expertise on the ground. So they call us to come in and make sure that the airway patient is breathing. So one of our slogan for anesthesia in Hangau is keeps you breathing. Keeps you breathing. That's a slogan for anesthesia in Hangau. We keep you breathing. So that means that we make sure that patients breathe. So that's our team. So we are not confined to open theater alone, but we can be needed outside, in hospital and even outside of the place. Yeah.
The hospital highlighted that their anesthesia team are the frontline emergency responders who work across the emergency department, operating theaters, and intensive care units. As part of World Anesthesia Day, attendees were taken through the key steps of basic life support, which are essential first aid and resuscitation techniques. The acronym Doctors ABC was explained, with D for danger, look for signs of danger, R is to check if the patient is responsive, S is to send for help, A is to do with clearing the airway, B is to check if the patient is breathing. If the patient is unconscious, then cardiopulmonary resuscitation can commence. Dr. Jethro Yuafoho explained that chest compressions can be administered for 2 minutes instead of doing 30 compressions, then administering mouth-to-mouth breathing due to the risk of catching infections. Kamila Guare, TV1 News, Lae.
The Child Nutrition and Social Protection Project has kicked off in Mourning province with the registration of mothers in the district. This pilot project is coordinated by the National Department of Health, Department of Justice and Attorney General, and the Department of Community Development and Religion. Registrations will cover pregnant women and women with children ranging between 0 to 5 years old.
In 2022, the national representatives from the national government gathered at the Mourning Resort Hotel to launch the 5-year Child Nutrition and Social Protection Project funded by the World Bank. A total of $90 million was given for the rollout of this project, which Mourning was nominated as one of the pilot provinces. This project aims to combat child stunting and malnutrition by offering quarterly incentives to pregnant and lactating mothers and their children to improve health and the quality of life for children in the first 1,000 days.
Department for Community Development and Religion will be doing mass registration. We did Pranget on Monday. We have 11 wards to cover. So this week and next week. This project is very vital, very critical and important for the women. How can we reduce stunting and malnutrition when PNG is ranked 4th in the world? And it will be the first cash transfer initiative or program in the country where women will be given grants through Component 2, which is community development. The project, on the other hand, complements other areas that the mother laid.
Project facilitators include World Vision, Digicel PNG through its Cell Money product, where participants will be able to access their funding, Mi Bank and government agencies. According to Ms. Rakuavia, a payment of 180 kina will be transferred into the participant's account per quarter per child. However, financial literacy remains a concern.
They will be able to own an account. Most of the women in the rural areas do not have bank account. With this first cash transfer, the challenge is how will they manage financial literacy? Are they able to manage this 180 kina that they will be receiving quarterly? So I see that as an advantage, but at the same time as a challenge. Are they prepared for this? The provincial, the sub-national team will have to take courage in terms of nutrition awareness, financial literacy, to help them to manage the monies that will be coming in.
Another concern raised was the sustainability of this project, after the 5-year period ends.
The other challenge is sustainability. How can we sustain? We have to strategize in a way to market properly. So politicians, the provinces should take ownership and responsibility after the World Bank funding. And if we can take ownership of that project, if every MPs, I don't know, through the DSIP, I guess, we have to make an impact for them to, convince them to support us. But this project is for the vulnerable group of people, the children under the age of 5 and women.
Linda Natu, a mother of 3 from Sierra Village, has every reason to smile as she joins the queue of women to register. She is expecting her 4th child and her 3rd born is only 3 years old.
Na meeting disla register mika lo register and by benefit mipla wante mon pikinini because mipla mamas sem ba mika can kisim good helping wante mo disbal organizations now on can helping mika because life now me hard and before me been struggle on sem yet kisim lo pocket do miet na mi ba im clinic na disla kan now disla am good ka through because ball help him lo buy just like kind of fish tapos mi go lo clinic anything lo pikinini emos money lo pikinini am start finish na mami kan isi taso kisim la account lo pikinini na mi making work lo pikinini.
The CNSP project has increased its monitoring ages from 0 to 2 to now 0 to 5 years and a winding down year from 2027 to 2029 due to its late implementation. All mothers have gone through stringent process to have them registered with the ward councils and community leaders on site to verify mothers before they register. This pilot project is also being implemented in East New Britain, Simbu, and Western provinces. Frida Kana, TV1 News.
You're watching TV1 News. We'll have the day's other stories after the break.
For too long, banking has felt out of reach for many. But now, BSP's One-Took Wallet is here to change that. Send and receive money, pay bills, and top up. It's your money, wherever, whenever. Because at BSP, we are committed to improving how our customers connect to our One-Talks, to our family, to the ones we love. BSP's One-Took Wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# for everyone.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo and milk taste and added nutrients, Milo and milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Find PNG made.
The Toyota JD Hi-Ace bus comes in 14 and 15-seater high-roof luxury model powered by 2.8 liters JD engine for optimal performance output, fuel efficiency, and quietness. Designed with improved safety features and easy maneuverability for tire steering angle. The Hi-Ace lift suspension and annular frame structure is opted for smooth ride, comfort, and safety. Experience the ride on the Hi-Ace bus and experience the Hi-Ace pride. The bus that exceeds all expectation.
Curly, straight, soft, wavy, afro, short, long, healthy. Palmolive Naturals for naturally beautiful hair.
It's formula infused with extracts like coconut oil, aloe vera and avocado to enhance your hair's natural beauty, giving you naturally beautiful hair that always looks gorgeous and smells great throughout the day. Palmolive Naturals.
Have a great hair day.
The PNG LNG project has now generated more than 30 billion kina for Papua New Guinea since production commenced. Nearly half of this amount has been paid as tax. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levies and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
They did it 22 years ago. Australia kick off in the defence of the Ashes. Australia do it again. Oh, Meninga's having a night.
Eternal rivals face off against one another like Bellingham, here's Rodrigo, and it's 4-1 Real Madrid.
It's not football, it's La Liga.
Welcome back. Simbu Governor Noah Cool has called for stronger partnerships and consistent funding to address worsening service delivery in Chimbu Province, citing budget shortfalls, centralization of programs in Waigani, and weak accountability mechanisms. Cool raised this concern on Wednesday during the Special Parliamentary Committee hearing on children and youth, citing a lack of funding to attend to children and youth issues in the province.
Speaking at the Special Parliamentary Committee on Children and Youth, held from October 14 to 15, Cole revealed that his province received only 40% of its expected national allocation last year, dropping to 26% this year, severely impacting local implementation. This has prevented his provincial government from allocating sufficient resources to addressing children and youth concerns in the district. The governor said in order to best address children and youth, there should be stronger partnerships with government and development partners, outreach to international organizations and embassies, establish provincial youth and children's council by 2026, increase funding for children and youth, boost health authority staffing, and strengthen church partnerships. Governor Cool stressed that collaboration is the key to progress. He says his province is ready to work with all partners to ensure children, youth and communities receive the service they deserve. The community, chaired by NCD Governor Powes Pakop, aims to safeguard child rights, strengthen youth participation and address systematic challenges such as violence, poor health and limited education access. It will use current data to guide policy interventions that directly impact children's welfare. Ruth Rongola, TV1 News.
The National Fisheries Authority is charting a new course for Papua New Guinea's fisheries sector. NFA Managing Director Justin Ilakini says the country is taking historic steps to engage directly in commercial fisheries while leading regional cooperation through development frameworks like East New Britain Initiative.
Speaking at the Pacific Tuna Forum 2025 in Nadi, Fiji, Ilakini outlined reforms that aim to benefit both the nation and the coastal communities who depend on fisheries for their livelihoods. PNG is moving to retain more value domestically and strengthen its leadership in sustainable fisheries. This move will allow PNG to actively participate in fisheries ventures while NFA continues its regulatory role. The reforms also link closely to the ENBI framework, which encourages regional cooperation and inclusive investment. Ilakini revealed that PNG has already created 12,000 direct jobs and close to 20,000 including indirect employment in the tuna industry. More jobs are expected as commercial operations expand and reforms take effect. He says PNG's approach combines sustainable fisheries management with economic participation, ensuring communities and the nation both benefit. He adds that regional cooperation under the ENBI framework is key to maximizing the economic potential of the Pacific tuna industry. Ruth Rongola, TV1 News.
Papua New Guinea is strengthening its fight against illegal fishing while implementing major reforms in the fisheries sector. NFA Managing Director Justin Ilakini says new patrols, forward bases and policy changes are set to protect the nation's waters and boost economic benefits for local communities.
Following the Pacific Tuna Forum in Fiji, Hilakini discussed PNG's strategy to combat illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing alongside ongoing initiatives to expand domestic fisheries. The National Fisheries Authority is also establishing forward bases, including Daru, to coordinate surveillance with Indonesian authorities, Australia and national agencies. Real-time ICT monitoring is being rolled out to ensure compliance and reduce unreported fishing. Hilakini also emphasized regional commercial initiatives under ENBI, including the Pacific Island Tuna Initiative that allows countries to sell processed tuna directly to global markets, bypassing middlemen and increasing revenue for Pacific nations. He added that the forum's outcomes confirm PNG's leadership role in fisheries, ensuring that reforms are effective, domestic processing increased, and regional cooperation central to sustainable economic growth. Ruth Rungula, TV1 News.
Colgate-Palmolive Limited celebrated the Global Handwashing Day on October 14 at the Southbridge International School in Port Moresby. Global Handwashing Day is an important platform that maximizes awareness about how essential the role of handwashing is in preventing the spread of infections and diseases. This year's theme is Be a Handwashing Hero.
Through its Protex brand and in collaboration with the National Department of Health, Colgate-Palmolive is encouraging the people of Papua New Guinea to spend 20 seconds washing their hands to help promote a healthier future for everyone. This year's host of the Global Handwashing Day was Southbridge International School in Port Moresby, where 200 staff and students participated. Colgate-Palmolive General Manager John Wood said 370,000 participants registered from 527 schools across the nation. Wood said the Clean Hands, Good Health program has been running since 2012 and has positively impacted over 2 million children. The program also seeks to educate people on the 4 simple steps to washing hands, which include using soap and water, scrub and rub hands for 20 seconds, rinse hands with clean water, dry hands with a clean towel. Colgate-Palmolive also organized an essay competition and student art competition for students to take part and winners announced on the day. Frida Kana, TV1 News.
A look at the finance news now. The kina closed lower at $0.2381 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, the kina was buying $0.2306 $0.3513 Australian dollars, 0.1899 euro, and 34.48 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, crude oil, and copper closed higher. Coffee, cocoa, and copper closed lower, and palm oil closed the day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX and all ordinaries closed higher. TV1 News continues after the break with news-making headlines in the region.
Banking doesn't have to be complicated. With PSP's One Talk Wallet, control your money wherever, whenever. Dial *131#, enter your PIN, select cash in or out, and generate a secure code to withdraw cash. It's the only wallet for cardless ATM withdrawals. Send and receive funds, pay for goods and bills, or withdraw cash with ease. All with PSP's One Talk Wallet. PSP's One Talk Wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# today.
From the rich soils of the highlands, the finest coffee has been grown by generations of Papua New Guineans. Expertly blended and roasted with over 80 years of experience, making the finest cup of Nescafe New Guinea blend. PNG's own coffee.
Rumi messing with your game. Time to sweep him out of the room. Oh, maybe not.
Ding bang ding, ding ding dong, bum bum.
For Simon, life is simple.
dreams seem distant, yet hope remains. One ticket, one dream. Simon's world changed forever.
Yes!
From small dreams to big possibilities. The One Talk Jackpot is here for everyone. Win big every day.
New Fabuloso multi-purpose cleaner with an irresistible fragrance that lasts all day long, creating a field of flowers in every corner of your home. With an irresistible fragrance that lasts and lasts all day long. Fabuloso, irresistible fragrance.
Long year 2024, 7 pla baby i-born one time HIV. HIV ikan go long baby long tripla rot. Time bel mama ikat HIV, long time long karing baby, na time baby isusu. Tasol Yumi can help him bel mama long lookout him baby inside long bell. Go quick time long bell mama clinic na kisim antenatal check. Time Yumi pan him sick HIV area o time bell mama i positive penis. Early treatment I can save him baby. Give him baby healthy start long life. Stop him spread long sick HIV ego long baby. This lutok sawe ikam long National AIDS Council Secretariat.
Enjoy life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Haren Tok Young or roll a scale rice family meal with talk. We'll bring out the smiles cause it's a favorite by miles. Seni Sigola scale rice low scale price. Seni Sigola scale rice low scale price.
Imba, you like him?
This is breakfast. Lovely to have your company.
Coming up on the show this morning, more weather is on the way. The Nelson-Tasman region is in the firing line again, along with the top of the North Island with heavy rain warnings.
The $20,000 one-day treatment isn't affordable for most, despite its potential to reduce long-term mental health costs.
The second largest drop in a single year since 2012. Is the grass really greener?
To start a World Cup. This is unbelievable. They have etched their names in history.
Thanks for staying with us on TV1 News. A local council in Australia's Canberra region has made moves to ban artificial grass from nature strips. Proponents say it's based on concerns fake turf leaks microplastics into the environment.
No mowing or watering required. Synthetic turf has become a popular choice for fields and backyards, but not everyone is a fan.
Artificial grass has plastic, artificial turf has PFAs, and it's not good for our stormwater.
Queanbeyan and Pallarang Regional Council wants to ban fake turf being used on nature strips, and they're seeking public feedback.
If you already have it, you don't need to panic and dig it up, number one. And secondly, this is a suggested policy change.
Landscapers say while artificial grass is common, it's not often used on nature strips.
I do it occasionally, and usually it's a last resort. You know, it's usually for erosion control. People have trouble on slope blocks, trying to retain gardens and decomposed granite.
Though the council has no plans to ban the material from homes and new developments, in the ACT, crossbenchers argue real grass is always greener.
I don't think Canberrans are fully aware of just all the implications of what this means. How it makes suburbs hotter, how it leaches microplastics into the waterways, and how eventually it's going to end up in landfill.
The Territory Government has told the Legislative Assembly it's reviewing its current policies. The Greens say controls are an environmental imperative.
I want to see far less artificial grass in the Canberra community. Whether that be a ban or other forms of regulation, this is what I want the government to explore.
I think regulating would probably be a bit of an easier approach, and giving people less options isn't always a good thing. So giving them the turf option, but having it so that it's, you know, it's installed properly, it's quality, it's got good drainage.
A growing concern.
The ABC can reveal groundwater is still leaking through the safety liner under multiple U.S. military fuel tanks on Darwin Harbour. The Northern Territory government approved all 11 tanks for operation in September, following years of delays due to design and construction failures.
Unlawfully built US military fuel tanks on Darwin Harbour still with major issues, despite being approved for operation last month by Minister Josh Burgoyne.
The NT Minister, I think, has a lot of explaining to do.
A day before the tanks received a certification exemption and subsequent sign-off, evidence was provided to the Minister and environmental regulator, showing groundwater leaking into what is meant to be an impermeable safety liner underneath the tanks.
We raised it directly with both parties, and the next day an exemption was given.
If groundwater is still leaking into the tanks, there's a very real concern that the tanks can then leak into the groundwater.
The NT's environmental regulator responding to the concerns weeks after the approval, disclosing it is aware of the problems with ingress of groundwater through the release prevention barriers, and that owner-operator Crowley is undertaking repair works in accordance with the repair design. Just days after the regulator disclosed the repair works, Minister Burgoyne announced some tanks had been filled.
A number, not all of them, but there are some tanks that have been filled with fuel.
And have some not been filled with fuel because there's still repairs happening?
That's not the information I have to hand. We had an independent engineer certify those tanks.
If it's the case that Minister Burgoyne has misled the public about the integrity and safety of these tanks, then we consider that to be a very serious matter indeed.
Josh Burgoyne referred the ABC's questions onto Crowley, the operator of the tanks. It said 4 of the 11 tanks have been filled with fuel, and the remaining 7 will become operational in stages.
More than 3 decades on from the Royal Commission into Aboriginal deaths in custody, more Indigenous people have died in the state's prisons this year than in any other year on record. The New South Wales coroner, Teresa O'Sullivan, has taken the rare step of issuing an open letter to mark the grim milestone, pointing to soaring Aboriginal incarceration rates as a driver in the rising deaths. And a warning, this story carries the names and faces of Indigenous people who have died.
It's been a decade since Paul Silver's uncle, David Dungay Jr., died after being restrained by Long Bay prison officers. He fears little has changed.
It's quite distressing and disturbing to see that this is constantly happening.
So far this year, 12 Indigenous people have died in the state's prisons, the highest yearly number on record. It's prompted the coroner to write, "This is a profoundly distressing milestone. These are not mere statistics. Each of these deaths represents a person whose life mattered and whose loss is felt deeply."
Families and communities are going to continue to carry the scars of these deaths in custody for generations to come.
The coroner pointed to figures showing nearly 4,500 Indigenous adults were in custody in New South Wales. That's more than a third of the total adult prison population. Over the past 5 years, the number of Aboriginal prisoners has increased by almost 19%, while the non-Aboriginal prison population dropped by 12.5%. Indigenous organisations say tightened bail laws and punitive policing practices are disproportionately affecting First Nations people.
The New South Wales government should be absolutely ashamed of this record, but they also can't say that they didn't know. We warned them and have continued to warn them.
The government says a review into Aboriginal deaths in custody is already underway.
One death in custody is too many, and we know that we have to do better.
The family of Wiradjuri man TJ Dennis is still searching for answers about his 2023 suicide in Silverwater Prison and says reforms are needed fast.
It's very scary because we have 3 brothers in custody at the moment that are still in there, and we don't know whether they're going to make it home.
Young lives depending on change.
A woman and 2 children have died in a house fire in central Queensland. A crime scene has been set up with investigators working to determine the cause of the blaze.
A devastating morning discovery.
But what I can confirm is that through investigations which have been commenced, we have unfortunately located the bodies of 3 persons.
A mother and 2 children were killed when a fire quickly took hold of this 2-storey house in Gladstone. Neighbours were the first to raise the alarm just before 6 a.m.
Mrs got woken by a bang. She looked out the back
back window and just come screaming in and said, next door's on fire.
Firefighters brought it under control about 90 minutes later.
We had our first floor collapse to ground floor within about 10 to 15 minutes of our arrival.
The extreme heat hampered search efforts as the fire jumped to several surrounding cars.
Obviously the fire scene is very horrific for all first responders and everyone involved, and it will take some time to go through.
The Mayor says the deaths have left the tight-knit community in mourning.
Absolutely terrible, heartbreaking. I was with relatives of the family this morning and my heart goes out to them on behalf of the community. We absolutely send our sincere condolences.
The Premier has pledged to provide support.
My heart really goes out for the family, the neighbours, the first responders.
Neighbours have told the ABC they heard explosions and were shocked at the scale of the fire. Residents are struggling with the deaths of 3 people from well-known families.
The community will wrap around the 2 families involved 100%. It's a small, tight-knit community. I know we're getting close to 70,000 people, but these people have been in our community for generations.
A second crime scene has been declared on a nearby street. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
Coming up in sports, Tui ready to lead Bati and Hekari sign up Gunemba.
Are you ready to meet the best version of yourself? The one with the bright, confident smile? You've got to take pride in how good you look, how fresh your breath smells, and how great you feel. To boss it at work, to be your best for uni, or to catch the eye of that special someone. You've got to brush up your vibe with whiter, healthier, brighter teeth. Brush up for confidence with Colgate.
100% proudly PNG owned, Tassian Group would like to wish you and your loved ones a beautiful Golden Jubilee 50th Independence. Thank you for being a valued part of our community. Let's continue the journey for another 50 years together. Proudly PNG.
Meet UmiPay, your digital wallet from TISA Bank. Your gateway to seamless transactions. Withdraw cash anytime at your nearest TISA agent. Send money to family and friends.
Hello, son.
Anytime, anywhere. Top up and pay with just a scan. From taxis to coffee and small businesses, UmiPay makes every payment simple. UmiPay, powered by TISA Bank.
For the very first time in Papua New Guinea, Mail Research and Marketing Consultants proudly launched the 5th issue of the Mail Review magazine commemorating PNG's 50th Golden Jubilee Independence. 2 volumes, 500 pages each. Volume 1 covers government politics and leadership, while Volume 2 highlights the private sector, state-owned entities as service providers, and NGOs. Together, they cover the period from 1972 to 2025. This 1,000-page collection reflects PNG's 50 years and sets the foundation for the next 50.
Keith Thurman is after another world title.
I was raised for this.
But world champ Sebastian Fedora is towering above the competition.
Fedora, top of the world as the unified champion.
When they collide, can Thurman win a major world title one more time? Or will the towering Inferno stand tall?
We're about to see a whole nother level of boxing.
Fedora versus Thurman for the super welterweight world title. Live October 26th on Fight Sports.
What are you waiting for? Get out of here, Gio!
What are you doing this to me?
Was it right that I kept his daughter away from him?
Of course, Clarice. You're hurting your daughter because you're keeping her away from her father. Romina, you look perfect. Hindi mo rin mo ya. Kami pagharap yung life for you wanted this papikin ni Bli sa posisigira tieto maritim papablo ni.
Can you invite him to cook dinner tonight? Sander is bringing his girlfriend.
Well, I just want to take my daughter back because you're keeping her here against her will.
You're now back to being trash, so no one will listen to you or respect you anymore.
Since we got married, my every morning starts after seeing you, Shira. And this will never change.
For the sake of love, you too can go to any extent. To any extent.
32 years ago, Australia kick off in the defence of the Ashes. Australia do it again. Oh, Meninga's having a night.
The Fiji Bati will open their 2025 Pacific Championships campaign against Cook Islands Aitu at the Santos National Football Stadium in Port Moresby this Saturday. The Bati camp remains confident and positive. The Cook Islands side comes into the tournament with a tough team set to make a statement in the championship over the next 3 weekends.
Both Fiji Bati and Cook Islands will be fielding a blend of NRL talent and emerging Pacific stars, with a thrilling contest expected at the National Football Stadium in Port Moresby on Saturday. The Bati had another training session this morning at the Sir Hubert Murray Stadium, making sure fitness and strength are aligned ahead of the game. Storm veteran Tui Kamika will captain the Bati in his 22nd Test match, with Kitioni Kautoga and Caleb Navale adding plenty of punch in the pack. Star Jarambula, Sunia Turuva and Michael Jennings will keep the Aitu defense busy, as will debutant Jethro Rinakama on the wing. Prop Michael Waka and interchange trio Solomoni Sokuru, Tarel Kalokalo and Keresi Maya to also make their international debuts. Halfback Brendan Wakeham plays his 11th Test and first since the 2023 Pacific Bowl final against PNG. Bula and Kat Donahue are making this match head-on and are confident of their opponent's potential to hit back on the field and will not take the Cook Islanders lightly come game day.
Yeah, the boys are looking good. The boys stayed fit throughout the off-season, so they're looking good. And yeah, just got to keep building those combinations for the game on Saturday. The whole foundation of the Fijian culture is built on our faith, putting God first, and that's one of the main reasons why I love here, because I'm a Christian man at home too. So it's always good to come to a group who are like-minded as well.
Yeah, Cookies, they're always tough. And now they've got, a couple of stars added into their team, so I'm actually really looking forward to this game. Got a couple of mates in there, so yeah, I think it's going to be a good battle, and I've been seeing them prepare, and they look like they're ready to go, so I think our boys, we need to be ready, and they're going to try and, it's going to be a bash festival, I reckon, the first 20, so yeah, we're just taking it 1 week at a time. Cookies have got a good team, so we want to try and beat them first. The biggest challenge for us will just be everyone coming together. We've got 5 debutants, a couple of new positions. Our team's changed a lot over the last 3 years, so I think if we all just need to get the balance right, and the connection will be the biggest thing for us.
Adding flair to the coaching team is Jared Hayne, who is banking on his side to win, but is reminded that the Cook Islanders have a strong forward pack led by Brisbane Broncos player Brendan Piakura.
It's good. It's good to see all the Cookie boys come back from the NRL, especially give them that experience. I think it does nothing but great things for the island, and same with our boys. The boys that have had a long season, but they've come back and want to play in the Pac Champs, which is awesome. It's a great environment, and obviously playing in PNG, it's always a good crowd, good vocal crowd. We've had a good week. I think it'll be a good game. I think that their forward packs improved dramatically, and it'll be good for our middles to have that kind of standard to go up against. And I think we've gelled well this week, and I think we've really built on last year, which has been good.
Fiji comes into the tournament with strong momentum and depth across the park. With recent success and solid preparation, the Bati are set for Saturday's big hit-out. Susan Oreape, TV1 Sports.
11 women from across the Pacific are participating in the Pacific Women Leaders in Tennis initiative, delivered by the Australian government's Pacific All Sports program in partnership with Tennis Australia. The program supports emerging Pacific women leaders in tennis administration with leadership modules and mentoring, empowering participants to take the next step in their careers. This year's cohort includes Adelaide Senior and Abigail Tereapisa from PNG, and other participants from Fiji, Marshall Islands, Nauru, Tonga, Samoa, Solomon Islands, and Vanuatu. This year's program covers topics including stakeholder engagement, goal setting, and public speaking. This is Papua New Guinea's first time hosting the Regional Leadership Workshop and provides an opportunity to showcase the significance of women's leadership in PNG through sports like tennis. Cricket PNG has congratulated the PNG Lewas on their 3-wicket win against the United Arab Emirates women in yesterday's ICC Women's ODI Series Match 2 at Amini Park in Port Moresby. The Lewas' next match is scheduled for tomorrow, also at the Amini Park.
After winning the toss and electing to field, the PNG Lewas delivered a disciplined bowling performance to dismiss the UAE for 143 runs in 45.4 overs. Senior bowler Henao Thomas led the attack with a brilliant spell of 4 wickets for 28 runs from her 10 overs, while experienced all-rounder Pauke Siaka was equally impressive with 4 wickets for 39 runs. Isabel Toa and Gewa Tom also picked up a wicket each to keep the visitors under pressure throughout their innings. In the run chase, the Lewas showed determination and teamwork, reaching 146 for 7 in 42.5 overs to secure victory by 3 wickets. The win reflects the team's growing confidence and composure in home conditions, with valuable contributions across the batting order. This victory marks a great start for the PNG Lewas in their historic home one-day international series, underscoring their commitment to lifting the standard of women's cricket in Papua New Guinea. The PNG Lewas will look to carry their winning momentum into the next match on Friday, 17th October 2025, once again at Amini Park, Port Moresby. Susan Oreape, TV1 Sports.
And that's all we have for you in sports. Let's take a look at the weather now for the next 24 hours.
In regional forecast, Port Moresby mostly fine to partly cloudy, then few showers. Popondetta partly cloudy with possible brief showers. Momase, Lae partly cloudy, then few showers in the evening. Madang mostly fine, partly cloudy. New Guinea Islands, Lorengau mostly fine, sunny. Keviang mostly fine with chances of brief showers. And Highlands region, Manditari and Wabe, cloudy periods with few rain showers and possible thunderstorms. Ocean focus for PNG areas for the next 24 hours. Coral Sea sees moderate to rough with east to southeasterly winds. Solomon Sea sees light to moderate with southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots. Bismarck Sea sees smooth to slight with southeasterly winds of 5 to 15 knots. And Pacific Ocean sees smooth with southeast to easterly winds of 5 to 10 knots. And coastal waters forecast, waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru to Kiwai Island, to Kerema to Yule Island, to Hood Point to Samarai Island, seas 1 to 2 meters rising to 3 meters along warning areas. Waters of Finchaven through Vitia Strait to CRC Long Island to Madang, seas 0.5 to 1 meter rising to 3 meters.
And that wraps up tonight's news. Thanks for your company. Good night.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by